And I know we have some other schools. We have Exploits Valley and Lakewood, Mealy Mountain, and Corner Brook Intermediate. I believe that's everybody. If I've missed anybody, I apologize. I think we have everybody, all of the schools that are here. So I just wanted to welcome everybody, and you know, it's really nice to see you guys. Just wanted to start off today. This is very exciting. We are naming the schools that are taking part in the Tech Pathways pilot program, and I'm going to explain a little bit about the program as well. So good morning, everybody, and thank you everybody for joining us for the update on the Technology Pathways pilot program that we are launching for this school year for September of 2020-21. Granway Price, Chair of the Board of Trustees for the NLESD, and Brian Tobin, Vice President Academic for the College of the North Atlantic. I believe Granway is going to be making some remarks. Back in December, our government joined the NLESD and the College of the North Atlantic to announce a partnership, and a memorandum of understanding was signed to create this new pathways, including academic opportunities to support interested students taking part so that they can more easily transition from high school to the IT programs at the College of the North Atlantic and other post-secondary institutions as well. The memorandum of understanding that we signed was our shared commitment to work together to cultivate homegrown talent and the growth of a diverse workforce in the technology industry. So on that day, we also announced that in September of 2021, we'd be launching the Technology Career Pathways program that will provide high school students with the pathways featuring a combination of high school courses, college courses, and experiential learning placements within our tech industry. So today, I am very pleased to announce the 10 schools that have been chosen to take part in the first pilot. The schools chosen for the pilot span across the province, including schools in the Avalon, Central, Western, and Labrador regions. The schools that are taking part in the Avalon region include Waterford Valley High School in St. John's, Holy Trinity High in Torbay, Holy Spirit in Conception Bay South. In the Central region, we have Exploits Valley High in Grand Falls, Windsor, and Lakewood Academy in Glenwood. The schools in the Western region include Corner Brook Regional High School, Elwood Regional High in Deer Lake, St. James Regional High in Port aux Basques. And in Labrador, we have Mealy Mountains Collegiate and Happy Valley Goose Bay will take part as well. We have William Gillette Academy, and they're in Charlottetown, and they are taking part in a little bit of a different way than the other schools. They're taking part through the Center for Distance Learning and Innovation, or CDLI. So the addition of CDLI is one that we're very excited about because it opens up opportunities for students in multiple rural communities around the province, both on the island and in Labrador. We made a formal arrangement with William Gillette Academy to take part through CDLI to ensure that we had at least one school taking part in the first year of the pilot project on CDLI or through CDLI. Any school taking part in CDLI can participate pending availability. And we encourage other schools in areas of the province that connect through CDLI to inquire about availability in the program. So it can be more than just the 10 we've announced. These 10 are formal, but there can be other schools taking part in the pilot program as well. Depending on the initial success of this project, The pilot will launch in more schools in each region of the province starting in September of 2022. So if a school in your community isn't included this year as part of the pilot project, you may see it next year or the year after that as this program continues to grow. So we're joined today, as I said at the beginning from of this, by students from grade 9 in a number of areas of the province who would have the opportunity to take part in the first stage of the pilot when they enter grade 10, if they choose to take computer science. I'm very excited to be able to bring this news to you today, and I want to give you and members of the media a refresher on what this means. So students that are taking part in the Technology Career Pathway or TCP program will receive not only their high school credits, but will also receive college level certifications to prepare them for further studies in careers in the technology and innovation sector. Students will start coursework in Python, which is a widely used program and programming language in fields such as web development, data science, artificial intelligence, in grade 10 in the normal high school computer science course. After grade 10, students will transition into post-secondary courses in Python programming for grades 11 and 12. So students who complete the program will receive a micro-credential from the College of the North Atlantic in Python. They will also get course credit at the post-secondary level. So for the grade 9 students tuning in today, this means that you will get post-secondary credits if you take part in this program. You'll get 2 credits counting towards post-secondary courses in IT. And finally, pardon me? Yep, finally, students will also get a $2,500 tuition voucher for a post-secondary institution in Newfoundland and Labrador. This is significant to the students. $2,500 to go towards your tuition in a post-secondary institution if you complete the 2 micro-credentials or post-secondary credits while you're still in high school. So the goal of this program is to give students hands-on experience in technology and innovation, and to give those who want to continue working toward a diploma or a degree in technology or IT after high school a head start on their post-secondary studies. In closing, I want to say that as we announce these 10 schools today, I can't help but look forward to the opportunities that these students will have in our growing technology sector. No matter where their ambitions lie, these students will learn skills that prepare them for the careers of the future. And I have to say, we are committed and remain committed to embedding digital learning throughout our education system. And this is an exciting next step. So with that, I'll ask Granway if he wants to make a few remarks on behalf of the school district.
Thank you, Minister, and good morning, and more importantly, good morning to all the students from across the province. This is an exciting day. As Chair of the Board of Trustees of the Newfoundland and Labrador English School District, it's great to see this important pilot project moving forward. I'm really excited personally because this is a good opportunity and one of the newer opportunities for students to really engage in something exciting in a learning program that actually can pay big dividends in the future when they transition to post-secondary and they get their careers lined up for the new economy. I know our district staff have been helping to work through the logistics of offering this unique program in a manner that best suits the needs of students and teachers in the high school classroom environment. It is a great opportunity for students. It's also a great opportunity to connect with College of the North Atlantic and collaborate on a program that can more seamlessly move more seamlessly from high school to the post-secondary level. As I indicated back in December when the partnership was first announced, the board has long supported and promoted the expanded use of technology to enhance teaching and learning in our classrooms. The Technology Career Pathway Program is a natural progression for our focus on K-9 coding over the past number of years. It is an exciting opportunity to support high school students who have a keen interest in computer programming and provide them with access to college-level instruction and credits over a 3-year period. It will also provide them with learning placements within the sector, which is absolutely crucial and has been outlined recently in reports. It will also provide them with learning placements in the sector, all of which will give them a head start in pursuing a post-secondary education and a successful career, no matter what post-secondary opportunities they pursue. Thank you for the opportunity today. I look forward to seeing this program up and running in the schools and more in the future, and for its graduates to assist in the building the technology industry in this province, which we have seen recently. We have some fantastic examples, and we're only going to get better at this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Granway. And I think, Brian, do you have remarks as well?
Yes, Minister, thank you. So on behalf of College of the North Atlantic and our President and CEO, Liz Kitt, I'm certainly pleased, in fact excited, Minister, to join today's follow-up announcement on this exciting partnership between the college, the provincial government, and the Newfoundland and Labrador English School District. So my name is Brian Tobin, and I am the Vice President for Academic at the college, and it certainly gives me great pleasure on behalf of our leadership team, alongside Minister Osborne and Granway Price, to be here this morning. So a vital component of this collaboration is the fact that it was developed with a student-centered focus. It will provide high school students with early access to knowledge and skills pertaining to the technology and innovation sector, and will certainly assist them in the transition to post-secondary education. We know that one of the keys to success is giving students the tools and supports that they need to explore their interests and open doors to opportunities they might not have had otherwise. And this initiative will do just that. Students entering this program are thinking about what career path they might like to pursue when they leave high school, which is why implementing this collaborative technology career pathway project now means that participants will have an opportunity to acquire skills that are targeted at addressing future labor market opportunities and potential career paths. We know that there is a growing demand for our graduates in the technology sector in Newfoundland and Labrador. It's an estimated $1.6 billion industry. And we know the industry demand is far outweighing the supply of qualified and credentialed workers. So CNA recognized the need for micro-credentials and launched our first offering in 2020. And the great thing about micro-credentials is that they offer flexibility and confirmation that a student has achieved specific outcomes and skills through and throughout their learning experience. So congratulations to the high schools that have been selected for this pilot project. We believe that investing in the skills of today's youth through programs like this will have a long-term positive impact on tomorrow's workforce. So thank you to all of the partners on the call here this morning. We're excited as College of the North Atlantic to do our part to help these students discover their potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. And I want to recognize as well, Beaconsfield Junior High has joined as well. So hello to the students at Beaconsfield. Before I open it up to questions from the media, I am going to give students an opportunity to ask questions. So I'll ask their teachers to ask the students in their class if they want to ask questions. If they do, the teacher can use the raise your hand function, and the moderator will recognize you and students can ask questions. Then we'll get into the media. But before I do that, while students are thinking about what questions they may want to ask, Minister Parsons is responsible for the IT sector in the province. And just want to give Minister Parsons an opportunity if he wanted to address the students to do so as well.
Well, thank you, Tom, and good morning to everybody all over the province. It's great to see everybody on a beautiful Monday, and this is a great way to start the week. I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to St. James Regional High there, my alma mater. Great to see everybody there, and great to see all of the other students all over this province. I'll just say a couple things. Number one, I'm just really proud of both the Department of Education, the school district, and CNA for coming together and fairly quickly when we talk about the need that we have to address here. To everybody out there, one of the parts in my job dealing with industry and technology is I've got a ton of really cool companies that want to employ, Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, young people. They want to pay you great wages to stay here in the province. They just don't have enough people to hire here. And this program today is going to allow you to do that. It's going to give you some credentials towards it. It's going to start you on that path. And I think it's amazing. I'm just really proud to see it all come together. This is really amazing stuff to see here. And the biggest thing is somebody that's coming to you today from Port aux Basques. This is available in every corner of our province, and that's a big deal. That's a great thing. And the reality is that tech doesn't matter where you are. It matters about the ideas that you have, the ingenuity that you have, and we know that exists in every corner. So I'm just really glad to see this. Looking forward to seeing more. These are the partnerships that we need to have. So on that note, like I said, onwards and upwards, this is good news. And I just wish these opportunities were around back when I was coming through, but it's great to see it. Like I say, there's so much opportunity here for these students, great paying jobs, and right here in Newfoundland and Labrador coming through our awesome institutions. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Andrew. And I hope teachers and students have had an opportunity to think about some questions they want to ask. It wouldn't be fair for me not to give a shout out to the St. John Bosco and Beaconsfield in my district. And I certainly hope to get a question from either St. John Bosco or Beaconsfield or both, in addition to the other schools that are online. So if there are any students who have questions, like I said, if your teachers can use the raise your hand function, I will certainly recognize you.
Got a question from Beaconsfield.
Excellent.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
How do we sign up?
Well, when you pick your courses going into grade 10, even if you've already picked your courses, we'd announced that this program was going to happen for September. You have an opportunity that even if you've already picked courses, that you can sign up for computer science, change out one of your courses and sign up for computer science. That's all you need to do. Once you're signed up for the pilot, it's primarily in grade 10, an introduction to what you're going to see in grade 11 and 12. In grade 11 and 12, you'll actually get your post-secondary credit in addition to high school credits. And if you get those two post-secondary credits, one in grade 11, one in grade 12, you get $2,500 towards your tuition as well. So I hope you do sign up. If you're interested in the IT sector, this is a great opportunity.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Minister, looks like St. John Bosco has a question for you. I'm going to ask him to unmute.
Perfect.
Do all 3 years to get the $2,500 credit.
Oh, sorry. We missed part of that. I think you were still on mute. If you could start again.
Can we do this class over the span of grade 10, 11, and 12?
Oh, maybe if you came a little closer to the mic. I'm really sorry. We're having trouble hearing you.
My question is, can we do this over the span of grade 10, 11, and 12 at any time?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. Okay, any other questions from any of the schools?
Corner Brook Intermediate had a question. They messaged us, so I'm going to invite them to ask you themselves, their minister.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh, you may be on mute, Corner Brook.
I'm not sure if they have a mic. I can. Their question was, do college credits count outside of the province? They don't have access to a mic there.
So they are College of the North Atlantic college credits. And yes, those credits can be transferred, maybe not to all post-secondary institutions, but there will be a number of post-secondary institutions that would recognize the laddering or transferability of a credit from one institution to another. So it's a micro-credential. You can put a number of micro-credentials together to equal a full credit. And again, they're recognized not only by other post-secondary institutions, they're recognized by employers as well as you having attained some knowledge and training in an area, and they are backed by the College of the North Atlantic. So it's a great question.
We have a question at Exploits Valley Intermediate.
Yes, go ahead.
What does the credit get you?
What does the credit get you? Well, it gets you a recognized credit at post-secondary institutions. Again, the other thing that the credit gets you is a level of recognition by employers that you have some understanding in Python, which is a widely used language. But the most, or one of the most important things, I shouldn't say the most important, because the two micro credentials are very important for anybody, especially if you're looking at going into an IT program at the post-secondary level. But a big advantage of this program is the fact that you get a $2,500 tuition voucher, which is significant for somebody going to post-secondary education. It gives you a fantastic head start on paying for your post-secondary education.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question there from Corner Brook Intermediate 9E. So you can go ahead and unmute there.
What jobs can you get with this course?
That is an excellent question. And you can get jobs in computer programming. You can get jobs in a number of IT sectors. You look at Verifin, for example, you know, they hire hundreds of people. They're not the only company, but everybody knows of Verifin because they just made a multi-billion-dollar deal with NASDAQ. But Minister Parsons, did you want to jump in here as well? Because this the IT sector comes under Minister Parsons' department, and he can probably expand on that answer a little as well.
Yeah, Tom, and I'll try my best, but I do have an idea to answer that, and it's something that we've been talking about. It's fine for people like me to talk about, whether it's graphic design, whether it's coding, whether you're getting into stack engineering. There's a bunch of stuff. But what I'm going to suggest to every school and student on this call is that if you're interested, I can actually have some people from these companies show up virtually to tell you what it is that they're doing and what it is that they need. And I'll give you an example, Verifin. So Verifin started here in Newfoundland and Labrador in the last couple of decades with three people from Newfoundland and Labrador, went to MUN, did some engineering. They just sold their company just before Christmas. I think it was just over $2 billion. And these are people that did their education here in Newfoundland and Labrador. And again, it's changing all the time. And again, I just wish I had the ability to fully explain what everybody does, but there's so many different routes. In Verifin, they're basically a virtual crime fighter for online fraud and banking. They're working with banks across the world. When I look at just what we're doing with C-Core, that's a whole different form of engineering. We're going to do some announcements there this week. Just last week, we were talking to Ultimex and what they're trying to do. So what I'm going to suggest to everybody, in fact, we've been working on this, is getting these people. And I talked to one of the founders of Verafin, and he's interested in talking to everybody to say, hey, we've got a bunch of jobs we want to create. We just need the people, the bodies to do it. I think that they'll do a much better job of me explaining exactly what the opportunity is here and how much, and again, I know this is not the motivating factor, but it never hurts, how much money and experience comes from being in this sector, folks. It's great to know that these opportunities are out there and that you can do them from any high school, anywhere in this province, starting with this program.
Thanks, Andrew. And one of the things I should point out as well to our students that are taking part today, the exciting thing about IT is you don't have to be living in New York or Silicon Valley or Toronto or London to work in the IT sector. And we've got a number of very successful companies here that are working around the world, but are employing people right here in Newfoundland and Labrador. So it's very exciting because you can be living anywhere in Newfoundland and Labrador and working in the IT sector. There are people in this province who are working for some of the major companies around the world, in addition to the major companies that are located right here and able to stay home and work from their home province in the IT sector.
Minister, I got one last question from Corner Brook Intermediate. It says, can the $2,500 tuition voucher be used in post-secondary if you are not planning on pursuing IT in post-secondary?
I believe the answer is yes. We will contact the administrator at Corner Brook just to make sure, but we'll get that answer. In fact, to the 10 schools that are taking part, we'll get the answer out to the administrators so they can let the students know.
Perfect.
Now, whatever student in Corner Brook came up with that question, you can say, you asked the minister a question and you stumped him.
Hi.
Okay, oh, sorry, Tina. I was just going to open it up to the media. You may be doing the same. I'm not sure.
Actually, yes, I'm going to say thank you to the schools for joining us this morning. Certainly you can get back to your studies now today, and we'll open it up to the media. So for the benefit of our speakers, we have 3 registered media for today's event. First, we have a VOCM, Jolene Grimes. Do you have any questions, Jolene? And you can please address who you'd like to respond.
Can you hear me there now? It's not Jolene, by the way.
Oh, sorry. No, it's Brian Major.
Yep. She had to go read the news, but yes, Brian. One of the questions coming in already is the totality of it. How can you expand this to all, or how can schools in remote areas, say fewer than, I don't know, 100 students, not as connected perhaps as some other areas, will they be able to qualify and jump in on this program as well?
That's an excellent question, Brian. And the answer is yes. So through the Center for Distance Learning, we've got 9 schools that are signed up to do this inside the school itself. One of the schools that we've made a formal arrangement with, because any school in the province who is remote, who has access to the Center for Distance Learning, can access this course, and other schools can. So in the pilot program, we may have more than the 10 schools, but we wanted to ensure that there was at least one school signed up to operate through the Center for Distance Learning. So that's, the school in Lisa Dempster's or Minister Dempster's district is signed up through the Center for Distance Learning, just to ensure that we had a minimum of one instead of leaving it as an option to the schools, so that we can ensure that the Center for Distance Learning is set up, ready, capable, and is actually teaching this pilot program. I want to give a shout out to Minister Dempster, who helped arrange the school in her district. And I don't know if you wanted to say a few words to Lisa, because it is important that the school that's in your district is signed up through the Center for Distance Learning, and it does show that we can teach this no matter how small the school or what area of the province the school is in. They can have access to this program. Lisa, did you want to step in?
Thank you, Minister. I think you've just said it all, but it is very exciting for someone like myself, who in my pre-public life sat for 14 years as community rep on our school council. And there was many things we didn't have, but to know now that through technology, schools in coastal Labrador can participate the same as a school in your district here on the Avalon is certainly good news. And the students at William Gillette Academy are very much looking forward to participating. Thank you.
Excellent. And thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
Next, we have Glenn Whiffen with the Telegram. Please go ahead.
Hi, good day. Just a sort of a follow-up on Brian's question there. How were the 10 schools selected, and why go through a pilot project if we could sort of get this program to all the schools in the province?
No, it's a great question. The 10 schools we worked with the NLESD to identify schools that had the infrastructure and the ability to take part right away. It is a brand new program, so instead of offering it to all schools throughout the province, we wanted to ensure that we get it right. So that's the reason for the pilot program. As we run through the pilot program this year, we may learn things we want to tweak or add or expand upon, and it gives us the ability to do that. Through the Center for Distance Learning, even if a school doesn't necessarily have the infrastructure, they can take part through the Center for Distance Learning. They would need obviously Wi-Fi or accessibility and computers, but even if they don't have the computer science program offered in their school, they can take part.
Thank you. I believe I have a follow-up question there.
Sure.
The tuition voucher, where does the money come from for that?
Well, it's funded through the Department of Education, and it's again, once that's there now and will be there in future years as well. But if we get to expand this to all high schools, we'll reevaluate. Obviously, I can see what your next question may be is if all high schools, this could be significant. But the important part about the tuition voucher really is the fact that this is a growing industry, and we've had companies in this province open offices in other provinces because they couldn't get enough employees in this province. So to introduce, our government introduced coding in schools a couple of years ago. We're introducing this within the high school system to give post-secondary credits to high school students. This program will continue to grow and expand in ways that we may not even think of at the moment. So that, again, is part of the reason that this is a pilot at this particular point.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Glenn. Next, we have Jody Cook with NTV. Please go ahead.
Hi there. I think this might be a question best suited for Minister Parsons. Are you able to give us a rough look at just how many jobs will need to be filled in the next couple of years? Because I know that there's been a long-standing concern about trying to fill some of these tech positions in Newfoundland and Labrador. Can you quantify some of that for us?
Certainly, I'll try my best, and there's no static or defined number. A lot of this is anecdotal when you talk to the companies in the industry, but it's expanding to the fact that we will need anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 people within the next 5 years at various levels, whether it's people that are talking web development, we're talking artificial intelligence, engineering, computer science, you name it. A lot of times when we're in this in industry per se, we talk about vacant jobs or not having people to do them. In this case, we can't create the jobs because there's not enough people. And the other thing I will say is an interesting issue that we're dealing with now, and with every success comes consequences. With the arrival of Verifin, the good news is that now people are looking at St. John's as being on the map with Moncton and Fredericton and Halifax, which is where many of these multinationals were looking at their offices. We're looking at St. John's. At the same time, these very same companies are looking at our people, our students and young professionals to try to recruit them away from us. There's just not enough people in this field, not only in our province, but in our entire country and North America.
So you took the next question right out of my mouth. So is that, with all of the incentivizing of this, is there some sort of a commitment that needs to be made to be staying here?
Well, these are the things that we're working on. And part of it, I will say that's coming back to August when Tom got in this role and I became in this role, and Premier Ferries really placed a premium on tech within our entire province and how it ties into every other department. So Tom's shop has taken this, working with the biggest issue I deal with single-handedly is enough people to do the jobs. Part of that will be retention. So we're willing to explore a whole number of ideas, as well as exploring opportunities to provide incentivization for companies to employ people here, to come here, to set up their virtual shops here. It's not as much brick and mortar now, but why can't we have people working for any company, but working here in Newfoundland and Labrador? So we're working on the incentivization, and there's a whole number of areas you could do it, but getting the education for young people to fill that talent pipeline is the biggest start. Just to see it come here just within the past number of months is really impressive. And again, I throw out the credit to the three sort of partnering groups here to make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Medor, VOCM, do you have a final question?
The $2,500 voucher for post-secondary, would that just apply to College of the North Atlantic, or does that apply to wherever, Memorial University, etc.?
Yes, it applies to Memorial as well. And, so students can choose to either go to the college or Memorial. We are exploring whether or not private institutions that may offer IT can avail of this as well. That work is still in progress.
Thank you. Glenn Whiffen, Telegram, do you have a final question?
Yes. I was wondering if teachers, computer science teachers are already equipped to teach this course in high school, or do they need additional training?
So that's an excellent question. So in the first year, grade 10, they are, because they're introducing Python and introducing the courses at grade 11 and grade 12. Once we get into the actual teaching of the post-secondary course, we will have the educator in the classroom side by side with an instructor from the College of the North Atlantic, so that eventually our K-12 educators or the high school educators can take over eventually, but initially we will have College of the North Atlantic and the grade 11 or grade 12 educator side by side teaching the post-secondary course.
Wow, okay, sounds good, thank you.
Thank you. Jody Cook, NTV, do you have a final question?
Thanks. Just a housekeeping one with regards to internet access bandwidth and Wi-Fi. We know that there's been some challenges across the province with some schools in connectivity, even just supporting Chromebooks for now. While there's only 10 schools identified for this pilot project, what are we doing going forward to ensure that other schools who might want to participate and don't necessarily have the resource to do that will be able to?
Well, I can say that, government does recognize connectivity in some areas, and we've been working hard to address those issues. But the best person, I think, to speak to this is Granway, because I know the NLESD has been focused on ensuring connectivity. Granway?
Yes, Minister. Obviously, with all the extra IT assets that have been distributed within the province we've been fortunate with this IT upgrade. That also comes with it the challenge that you're addressing in your question is that with all these connections, how can we still do it? Obviously, we've been focusing on that. We've had some challenges. We've been investing in the networks that are actually in the schools to upgrade those specific pieces on the maintenance basis. But there are some challenges going forward, and we've identified them. The pandemic has clearly identified where the where the weak spots are. We have them analyzed, and we are looking to invest in those areas over the next number of months. The good thing about this particular project is that it is a pilot at this stage, so that it's contained, and we can make sure that we understand the challenges associated with this pilot, so that when we do expand, as your questions alluded to, that it can expand into places and schools that can handle the program itself. So in an essence, we recognize the issue. The resources are being applied to this. If we're going to make the transition to the new economy, there have to be significant investments in the IT sector within our schools. And I think everyone understands that. And I believe Minister Parsons has a
if I could just jump in on this, because we're all pretty passionate about it, and Granway is exactly right that with these new opportunities come challenges. And I think the pandemic, especially when we talk about learning from home, working from home, we realize that connectivity now more than ever is something we need to work on. Now, the reality is that it's not simply a provincial issue. There's multiple, it's governed under the CRTC, it's governed under the federal government. The good news is that we've been partnering with them and private industry. You'll see the feds have just announced a couple more billion to go towards the connectivity and the broadband infrastructure all around Canada. And I'd like to say, without saying too much, but I will say that myself, Minister Dempster, Minister Osborne, and our colleagues, we're pretty bullish when it comes to connectivity, both cell phone and broadband coverage. We'll leave it at that, but it is an issue. But I'd like to think that we as a government are going to be doing our part to help with this issue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Our time has ended. Minister, do you have any final comments?
I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. This is really a bold new step in the province, offering post-secondary credits at the high school level. And I know that the NLESD and the College of the North Atlantic have put a great deal of thought into this. So Granway and Brian, I wanted to recognize the work that you are doing to ensure that we bring this forward. It is there's been a significant amount of work put into this. Part of the reason it's a pilot this year, and once we see where it may need to be tweaked, or maybe it operates perfectly as it is, we'll add additional schools for next year, and then additional schools the year after that. This is very exciting. So thank you to everybody involved, and looking forward to this.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Minister.
Granway Price with the English School District, do you have any final comments?
No, I just say that it's clear around this table and with the students that are involved this morning, this is an excitement level, an exciting piece. And the fact that we're actually making a closer connection from the curriculum to the workplace associated with this is a good step forward to make sure we're very flexible and maneuverable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Price. Brian Tobin with the College of North Atlantic, do you have any final remarks?
Yes, thank you. I want to acknowledge and I thank the Honourable Minister, because it takes a lot of leadership and a lot of effort to bring together a partnership opportunity like this that spans the entire province, multiple institutions and parties to get to an initiative like this that can give opportunity to our high school students to get a really early stage start on a productive career. So I want to thank the Minister for that, and look forward, as a college, we look forward to working with all of the instructors and teachers across the province to make this a true success and an award-winning program for students. So thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Tobin. Minister Dempster, do you have any final remarks?
Thank you. No, I actually look forward to representing an area in Labrador where the grades were always very well across the province, comparable and above. Looking forward to the opportunity where this can be expanded to more schools in year 2 and year 3. And great job to my colleague, Minister Osborne, on his leadership on this file. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Dempster. And Minister Parsons, do you have any final remarks?
Nope. Thanks to everybody. This is a great way to kick off Monday.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care.